Hey everyone, welcome to week 6, day 1 of science. And as you saw in our standard, we are identifying animal characteristics. When we say animal characteristics, we are talking about their physical features. So what is on the outside of their body that helps them live in their environments. So I've got some animals here that are categorized by the type of animal that they are. So over here we have mammals, and as you can see I have different pictures of mammals here. So we've got an elephant, we've got a dolphin, we've got a giraffe, a cat, a gorilla, and a cow. A physical characteristic about mammals is that they all have hair. In this case, I have two examples of real-life mammals. So this is a cat. This is our cat, and she is a mammal. She has hair on her. And this is our dog. She is also a mammal, and she has hair on her as well. And another fun fact, humans are mammals as well, and we also have hair. So that is some physical characteristics that mammals have, and I'm glad I got to show you some real-life versions of that as well. Our next animal is the fish. So we've got different pictures of fish here. A physical feature on fish is their fins. They use their fins to swim. So as you can see, there's a fin up here. There's fins right here, on the top, on the bottom, right here, and down here. Another physical feature that we see in our pictures is that fish also have scales, but that does not apply to all fish, but it does apply to most fish. And here is a real life example of a fish. You see he's using his fins to swim, and he's looking at me like, "Ooh, what you doing?" Here's our next type of animal, and that is a reptile. All reptiles have scales. So this is a snake. He's got scales on his skin. That is his physical feature. And then that's a lizard. He also has scales all over his body. That is an alligator. Alligators also have scales. And then we have a turtle. Now, even though our turtle is covered up by a shell, we still have scales on our legs right here and on our head. I do not have a live version of a reptile with me today. Our last type of animal we are going to talk about is the bird. The physical features that all birds have is that all birds have a beak, they all have feathers, and they all have wings. So we're going to look through each bird here. They've got feathers, they've got wings, and then their beak. You can't really see it right here, but it's really, really small. You can see the beak here on this hummingbird, but he's got wings, he's flying, and he's got feathers. Now, even though all birds do have wings, that doesn't mean that all birds fly. But wings are a physical feature that all birds have. If you look outside, you can probably find a live version of a bird, or you can hear them. So I hear birds all around my house. They're making that chirping sound. So now that we've categorized each of our types of animals, let's go ahead and go in depth on each type of animal, meaning that we'll talk about more than just the physical features of each animal. Keep in mind that you can also do this activity. You can pick a type of animal that you would like to study, and you can write about their facts, or you can draw it. It is really entirely up to you. And if you do decide to do this, I would like to see what type of animal you chose to study. So we'll start with reptiles. The example that my student chose to do was a turtle. So a turtle is a reptile. Turtles lay eggs. They are cold-blooded, and they use the sun to warm, and they have bones, and they have scales. Remember that the physical feature we talked about to describe reptiles was that they all have scales. Moving on to our next type, which is a mammal. And for the example, the student chose to do a cat. And for the physical feature, all mammals have fur or hair. So let's go into more detail. Mammals also have bones. They are warm-blooded. They also have babies. So here's the mama and the baby. And the babies drink milk from their moms. Moving on to our next type of animal, which is going to be a bird. So the example the student decided to draw was a flamingo. So the physical features of a bird are feathers, wings, and beaks. That is the physical feature that all birds have. So let's go in more depth. Birds lay eggs, and they also have bones. Moving on to our next type of animal. So even though this wasn't one of the types of animals that we have discussed today, we have talked about arachnids before. And arachnids are a type of animal. So let's go ahead and discuss the physical features of arachnids. So arachnids have 8 legs, and they have 2 body parts, and they also have spinnerets. Let's go in more detail about arachnids. They also lay eggs, and some can spin webs. So the reason the student put spin web is because their example was a daddy long leg, and that is a type of spider. Let me give you an example of another arachnid. A tick is an arachnid, and ticks are related to spiders as well because they are both arachnids and they both have 8 legs, but ticks do not spin webs. So that is the difference between those 2 arachnids. Let's move on to our next type of animal, which is an insect. And we talked about the physical characteristics of an insect a little while ago, but we'll talk about it again here. So the example the student used was a butterfly. A butterfly is an insect. Insects have 6 legs and 3 body parts. They lay eggs, and most of them have antennas. So that was our in-depth discussion about each type of animal. This is our activity for today. It's labeled under Week 6 Science, and it's bird parts. So it says parts of the picture below are labeled, but the letters are mixed up. Find out what the label says by using the words in the word bank. On each line, write the correct word above the scrambled one, then color the picture. I'm just going to go through 3 of the physical features that all birds share. Now, one of them is missing on here, but all birds have a beak or a bill, and they all have wings. So I'm going to write those 2 down right here. So on this one, all of our letters are mixed up, but this bird has a bill because it has the letters I, L, B, L. And we are going to unscramble them using our word bank. So our first word is bill. Going to put bill right here. So all birds have beaks or bills. So that's the one I'm going to write. Next, I'm going to move my focus right here to the wing. Okay, so this is a wing. We can use our word bank to help us spell wing. So W-I-N-G, wing. So all birds have bills or beaks, wings, and this is a trick question because it's not on here, but the third physical feature that all birds share is feathers. So we are going to write feathers right here because that is a physical feature that all birds have. Go ahead and finish the rest of those. Good job on our science activity today.